Hey everybody, Melanie Potock here. We're going to do something really fun today. I get a lot of parents asking me about how to help kids learn to love vegetables. And it's kind of something that's a really special interest of mine. I wrote a book about it, Adventures in Veggieland. But the key ingredient here is exposure, is bringing your kids into the kitchen, exposing them to prepping the food, even washing the food, and definitely making the food with you. That's what eventually leads to the bite. But we have to be really patient with it, and we want to make sure that the process is fun. So let me show you a really easy recipe that you can make so quickly with your kids and still make it fun and spark their interest a little bit when it comes to one vegetable that a lot of parents tell me they never serve to their kids, yet it's so good for you, and that's cabbage. Cabbage is so easy to serve to kids, and one of the easiest ways to start is just by buying a basic coleslaw mix. Now I've already taken this one, I've dumped it right into my pretty bowl here, but you know what? Most coleslaw mixes will have a tiny bit of carrot in them and maybe some green cabbage and maybe some purple cabbage. I personally like to add a little bit more flavor, and I like to get the kids involved. So ideally, pick a vegetable that the kids already like. Very often, it's something like a red or a yellow pepper because it's a little bit sweeter, and a carrot. Maybe they'll have a few bites of either one, or maybe they're just learning how to make friends with those, but those are the ones you're going to start with. So in that situation, get the kids involved. When it comes to the carrots, make sure you have kids wear one of these nice safety gloves. I have all these references on where to order these in the back of my book, Adventures in Veggieland, but I'll put them in the comments for you too. Alrighty, make sure that they have one of these safety gloves on so they cannot cut themselves. And then you may have already peeled the carrot for them, or maybe they'll do it over the trash and just get that outer bit off. But all they're going to do is aim toward the bowl and go ahead and just add as many of these beautiful slivers of carrot. I like a lot. I could keep going here, and then they can also do something like take a red pepper or a yellow pepper, and those are so easy to slice with child-safe knives. My favorite child-safe knife is by Kunri Khan. Again, I'll put it in the comments for you. It's also in my book. But they have these cute doggy knives, and they will not cut you. They cannot cut skin, but they'll cut a red pepper, and they'll definitely cut a carrot. So the kids can take their red pepper and their child-safe knife and make some little tiny matchsticks, little tiny slivers of red pepper. I've got a few right here that I've already added, and they can sprinkle those on top. And then also, when it comes to having just a little bit more flavor, you might consider some onion. You could do that, a nice sliver as well. But one of the tricks I often share with families is that rather than using, say, a regular white onion that really has pretty much good kick to it, go ahead and get something more like these long green onions that come with these, I call them fronds, They're really, really mild on the green end, and as we get closer to the white end, they have a little bit more pungent flavor. But the kids can definitely slice these with their kid-safe knives and go ahead and sprinkle just a few in there. And then finally, when it comes time to add the dressing, I personally prefer more of a vinaigrette than a mayonnaise-y type dressing. And so I'm going to put my favorite dressing in the comments for you. But basically all it is a little bit of avocado or olive oil, a little tiny bit of sugar, salt and pepper, and then some sort of acid. And I will typically go with a vinegar, maybe a rice vinegar, or better yet, even an apple cider vinegar. That adds just a little bit of flavor, and the kids seem to really like it. Alrighty, once you have poured the dressing on, because it's going to be warm right off the stove, so we don't want the kids to do that part unless they're older. Then the kids can take some tongs and they can be in charge of coating all the pieces of your coleslaw. Now this actually is going to be best, and the acid is going to kind of break down the fibrous nature of some of these veggies, if we cover it with foil and we put it in the fridge for about 24 hours. But set the timer, or better yet, have the kids set the timer and make them in charge of going back in periodically and tossing the vegetables to make sure they're well coated. it's really not important to the recipe. What it's important for is to get the kids involved and give them a little bit of ownership and pride in the fact that they're making this for the family. And then finally, don't forget to put it in a pretty bowl so that when the kids do present it at the family table, they have something really beautiful to present, and everybody can put a little bit on their plate. It's okay if we don't take a bite yet. That's not what this is about. When you bring your kids into the kitchen and you parent in the kitchen, you're going to find they're going to become much more adventurous eaters.